and welcome to Kloeker's Education Foundation, providing quality content for amazing teachers and students. If you're joining us from a previous video or previous series, welcome back. And if this is your first time, we're glad you're here. This is our World History series, and this lesson is on Mesoamerica. Now, before we begin, don't forget to check out the link in the description below for a set of free guided notes to go along with this lesson. Now let's dive in. Now, the earliest Americans that come into North and South America are going to migrate originally from Asia across a land bridge known as Beringia, which connect modern-day Russia to Alaska, and this is how those inhabitants and their ancestors migrated to the New World. Now, some will travel by boat, but for the most part, the majority of the earliest Americans are going to migrate from that northeast corner of Russia across the Beringia Strait when it was frozen over into modern-day Alaska and make their way further and further south. Now, this is a period known as the Ice Age. Now, this happened 1.9 million years ago in some estimates, where the Ice Age lowered sea levels because of the massive amount of ice that had been frozen, and this allowed the inhabitants to cross, but not just people, also animals as well. For example, the woolly mammoth. And so it's believed that the people following the herds of these animals became the first Americans, as we know it, inhabiting North and South America. They were very much hunter-gatherers. This is predating the ancient river valley civilizations, which we spoke about in the beginning of the series, all the way back to the earliest humans and the Neolithic Revolution. So to recap and remind you, the Neolithic Revolution was the transition into agriculture from hunting and gathering. Now, estimates say that people began inhabiting North and South America back to around 40,000 BC or as early as 10,000 BC. Carbon dating is still inaccurate as regards to that. So what's the evidence? Well, there have been tools such as spearheads found in New Mexico, which date back to about 9,000 BC, giving some estimates that people had to be here before then and then progressed to tools and into farming. Now, about 10,000 years ago, the Ice Age ended, the ice melted, the land strait Beringia was swallowed up by the rising sea levels, and then, of course, agriculture and the Neolithic Revolution began, and we had permanent settlements, permanent towns, and villages being settled instead of moving with the animals. This brings us into Mesoamerica, where we find the most archaeological evidence, and there are many civilizations that have developed within Mesoamerica. We've talked about the Olmec, the Zapotec, the Maya, the Aztec, all in the overview, and so this lesson is going to focus primarily on the Olmec and the Zapotec, and that is the dark green and light green in the middle of Mesoamerica seen on the map. Olmec civilization is going to predate that of the Maya and the Aztec, but it serves as a cultural hearth for the region. The Olmec are the original civilization. When we're talking about the earliest American civilizations located in the jungles of South Mexico around 1200 BC, often referred to as the mother culture because they are going to be the basis for those later ancient American civilizations that develop. We'll start discovering the stone heads in around 1860, and of course those are carbon dated back to the time of the Olmecs. They're known for having built columns and temples, and of course the sculpted heads, which I'll show you in just a few moments. Now, the Olmec will be around for about 400 years. It's estimated between 800 to 400 BC, worshipping a variety of nature gods, including the jaguar spirit, which we will see in later ancient American civilizations, but it is unknown why their civilization collapsed. Possibly from outside invasion, possibly from internal decay, history has not told us yet. And so you can see here when we're talking about the carved stone heads, you can not only see the absolute scale of it compared to the humans, but the intricate detail that is used to carve in the facial features, the cheekbones, the details on the helmets and the ears and the face. The depth is quite astonishing for the time. With the decline of the Olmecs, we're going to see the rise of the Zapotec civilization in the Oaxaca region of southern Mexico. The Zapotec are going to develop in the Oaxaca Valley of southern Mexico using the fertile farmland, the mild climate, and the rainfall to support agriculture. They're going to continue the building of elaborate palaces and temples. We start to see the pyramid-shaped temples being built under the Zapotec, and we see that they develop their own form of writing and a calendar system as well, which we'll see in later ancient American civilizations. So when we talk about the ancient river valley civilizations, we had cities of Babylon and Ur, we had cities like Athens and Sparta and Rome develop in Europe. When we talk about Mesoamerica, the first real urban center that is the oldest dating is Monte Alban. Now, this is not, of course, the ancient name for it, it is the modern name for it, but it is estimated to hold around 25,000 people during its prime, having paved stone homes, temples, pyramids, and palaces. But the decline of the Zapotec is a mystery to historians, similar to that of the Olmecs. We're not sure why they declined, just the fact that they did. And you can see the absolute scale of Monte Alban here, the massive stone structures. Now, those itty-bitty specks on the top of the stairs, those are, of course, statues. But if you look on that right field, those specks, those are people. You can see them again on the bottom left-hand corner at the foot of the pyramid. It is the absolute behemoth of a structure and is one of the oldest dating structures in Mesoamerica. So what is the legacy of these civilizations? Much like how ancient Greece inspired the later civilizations like Alexander and the Romans, the Olmec and the Zapotec legacy are instrumental to the development of Mesoamerica, influencing the rise of the Maya and later on the Aztec. We know that the Olmec left notions of planned ceremonial and religious centers with some glyphic writing, although it's unsure how to decipher it. The Zapotec leave a much more complete hieroglyphic system, although again, it is uninterpretable as the translation has since been lost. And they're the first major cities in the New World, North and South America, developed and built by the Zapotec. While the Zapotec and the Olmec are the earliest in Mesoamerica, we do see some early developments in South America, in Latin America, such as the Moche, the Nazca, and the Chavín. They're going to be building massive city centers within South America. Most notably, we also have the Nazca line. Now, these are structures which it is believed are supposed to be tributes to the gods created on land. However, the full picture is unseeable while on ground. It is only seeable from the bird's eye view. So when we talk about early ancient American civilizations, the Olmecs and the Zapotec, they are the building blocks for the greater civilizations which come after them, the Maya and the Aztec. And in Latin America, the Moche, the Nazca, the Chavín, they're going to be instrumental in the development of the Inca. And all of that is the topic of our next video. And that wraps up our lesson. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, especially if you found it helpful. That helps this channel grow and our reach. be even greater. Check us out on Teachers Pay Teachers, YouTube, Rumble, and the Kloeker Education Foundation website. Check out what's new and what's next. That video on the Inca, the Maya, and the Aztec right there on your screen. Just below, something you might like and you might find interesting. To the right, an easy way to subscribe to our channel. All of this and more is just a click away. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.